Well, hello folks, and how are you today? So, before we start, want to clarify, I'm sorry if I depressed or worried, upset, whatever you guys in the last video. Was I having an emotional day? Maybe I was, but there you go. I was just trying to plan things out a bit, that's all. There's nothing to be alarmed about, there really isn't. Anyhow, now I've cleared that up, what are we doing today? Right, Allis, the mystery water leak. It eludes me. Right, I think it's been best part of a week since that Allis has been sitting out in the garden. I filled her up with water and, you know, we took the sump off. I think I've already showed you that we took the sump off. I wiped it out, put it back on, and yeah, I can report that after 4 or 5 days of sitting there, not one drop of water has got into that sump. It is bone dry in there. Goodness knows what's going on with that Allis. Yes, the radiator level did stay full, but about 3 days ago, I cranked her over by hand and the damned water pump started leaking again. So obviously a little bit of rust or crap had got in and sealed that water pump, and as soon as I turned it 1 revolution, that started dripping again. So yes, water pump is definitely faulty, but putting that aside, I think we can get the sump back on that buddy tractor and try and get a mag working for it. Now that brings me on to the next thing. There we are, mag. Right, let's get on and I'll tell you how I come about this, what it is, and yeah, what we're going to do. Basically, see if the damn thing do Magneto things. So guys, I was round my mate, I was round my buddies today, helping him get an old tractor going, an old Fortson Standard, and I see lay on the bench a mag from afar, and I said, "Is this mag Allis Chalmers?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Would you like to part with it? I need one for my old rusty mag, for my old rusty Allis." He said, "Adam, you can take it, boy, because you're helping me do a few tractors, getting them going and that and ready for sale." And I was like, "Do you know, I'll do that, I'll take that deal." Sorry, I'm just poking a little bit of crap out here. There we are. So yes, we have an Allis Chalmers mag. On closer inspection, it's actually a Fairbanks mag as well, so it is for an American tractor, which is good because both of my Allises are bow axle American tractors. The Allis he got is actually an English tractor, so to be period correct, this is not really suitable. Well, this is not really period to an English tractor because they tended to have Lucas. Anyhow, what we're going to do here is we're going to see if this thing has got mag sparkulator things. The impulse, I'm not turning it, but the impulse got a fair bit of spring in it. So I'm thinking I need to take this cover off and see if we can get to the points. Or are the points under this one? Where are the points on this? Tell you what, to save upsetting timing, shall we put him in the vice and see if it'll spark without taking this off? Because these are gears in there, because you've got a 4-into-1 gear and the gear has to be timed. So it's advisable, if you don't have to take all this off, don't. Normally I would on a single cylinder one, but when you've got timing you're worrying about upsetting, we might as well leave it on. So I think what I'm going to do, I know we mustn't snap this lug off, because that would be disaster. Right, I'm going to just hold this damn thing and see we'll have a 1 in 4 chance of getting a spark out of this, won't we? How are we going to hold this damn thing? We need to hold that lead somewhere close, and we'll give it a spin, because if it's got a spark, I ain't got to have this back cover off. Although it would be interesting for you guys to see how they work. Alright, let's see if we can get some sort of bend on here, and maybe see if this thing got any sort of spark. How are we going to do this, Mr. Fenn? I don't quite know. Let's bend it round a bit. There we go. Let's tighten this screw up on my little clamp. Where is my screwdriver? Here it be. Right. Let's just get this clamped on the body. And I'm going to get this as close as I can to the end of this croc clip. I think there's a little air gap there. We aren't touching that, are we? Are we touching that gap? Let's have a look. I'll be able to see more through the camera than I can with my naked eye. Right, let me get my eyewear on, because I still can't damn see if we've got a gap there. No, we're actually touching the steel cord. Right, no we're not. So if we have got any form of spark, it'll go from where the screw, let me get a tip. It'll come from there and jump down to this crocodile clip. Now we've got a 1 in 4 chance, because this mag is going to be timed. So it all depends. It's going to, every 4 clicks, it should go on them. But when this 4th click is, I don't know. Because it could be far and out of either of these. What we could do, actually, it isn't really a good idea to actually spark a mag with nowhere for the power to go. So what we could do, what we very much could do, bear with me. Right, we could, I've got a piece of HT lead here. We could jam a little bit of HT lead in each one of these. So one should spark every time. So let me just get this end. I'll zoom out so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Now, I've got a new piece of HT lead here. So we'll put E in here. I really need 2 more of these brass finials, because I haven't got any. Right. I can push this into another outlet of the mag. That's that one in. Right. And we'll come up here somewhere. See if we can poke this one through somewhere close. Right, that's 2. So we now have 2 what we can look at. See if we get a spark here or here. Let's see if we have any spark. Let's stop messing about. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Right, we have no spark, guys. That really doesn't surprise me. We should have some form of spark, and we haven't. So we are going to have to take off this back cover. Come on, zoom out, zoom out. There we are. Alright, I'm giving that a very gentle nip, guys. Very gentle. Where's the timing on this? I really do not know. Well, I like how that's got number 1 written on the distributor cap. I like that. Right, before we take that off, I want to make sure I know where that's lined up. Because I have a sneaky feeling there's gears in here. I don't really recall, because I've never had one of these off. So I'll pull these 2 HT leads out. There we go. That's it, get them out. And we'll see what's under here. So I think the points are under the big one. I've never really been under this. Right, we have a little carbon brush here. There's the rotor arm, look. So what's our rotor arm like? Right, this is keyed. This is keyed one way, so we can't get that back on wrong. Now, that's keyed one way. That rotor arm, she don't look too bad. I will get a little bit emery though and just tickle the edge up. There you go. Bright and shiny again. This cap on the top. She's bright and shiny. So it looked like we've got some bright and shiny metal on the mag. So we can put this back on there, put the rotor arm back in. Little brush is good. We'll clean up our little brass terminals. Although I don't think there's a problem with them. Oh, we even got a good gasket. So we're just going to clean up these little brass legs. These are the little legs that the rotor arm talks to. Oops. There we go. Right, also, I want to talk to you guys about YouTube. Now, it isn't the same as it was last year. In fact, the financial side of it, it's like halved from last year. Due to Mr. Trump and his tariffs, believe it or not, I don't think that's helped. You need to remember that YouTube is owned by Google, and Google is an American company. So no, unfortunately, YouTube isn't doing as well as last year. Not this time last year. People have said, oh, it's a good job you're not going the Patreon route. Well, I'm trying to avoid it, guys. I think the time might come, though, when I have to think about doing Patreon. Because you got to remember, this is a hobby, but it's also our main source of income at the minute to run an entire house. So I need to be a little bit careful. Anyhow, we're not going to talk about Patreon now because that's quite a way off. But what I would like to ask you guys is, please subscribe. I was looking at my analytics the other day, which is the gaff about YouTube, and I think only 35% of people that watch my videos are subscribed. Now, you're probably watching this now thinking, I'm not paying no monthly subscription. That is not what it means. When you subscribe to a YouTube channel, it doesn't mean you have to pay a monthly subscription. It is totally free to subscribe. You don't need a YouTube channel as such. Nothing like that. If you're watching it now, you can use your TV, your phone, anything to subscribe to a YouTube channel. All that means is it's telling YouTube, I like his channel, I'd like to see more of his stuff. And if you ever wonder what the little bell icon is, which is underneath which is beside the subscribe button, well, that just tells us that you'd like to be shown when I have a new video out. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I've just dropped a screw and I have found it. So yes, it'll just tell you when we've got a new video out. And it's telling YouTube that, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing what he's got. Right, is anything going to fall out here? Oh, here's our timing. Right. There is the timing gears I was talking about. Ooh, that's rough. whatever's going on in here. We have a condenser. We have a condenser. We have a bit of green tape. Ah, right, this is what the arm will sit on. Is that not meant to be spring-loaded, guys? I would have thought this thing's meant to be spring-loaded to make sure it's making contact. Right, either way, we need to clean them points. So yes, all I'm saying is please do subscribe. I say it doesn't cost a thing. Subscribe, hit that little icon, that little bell icon, and that'll just tell people, or tell YouTube that, yeah, please let me know when this guy got another video on. I'd like to watch him. None of these things cost you a penny, but they do a massive, massive difference to the channel. Because the more people who subscribe, the more likes the channel gets, the more comments it gets, and the more bells it gets. Just tells YouTube that yes, people want to see more of him. And the bigger the YouTube channel gets, the more videos I'll be able to do. The more videos I'll be able to afford to do. Of course, some of these videos I do cost a fair bit to do, you know. This stuff I actually work on the channel with, you know. I don't get that for free, you know. So a lot of this stuff I do have to fund out of the YouTube channel and out of our housekeeping money. So bear that in mind, guys. Please do subscribe. It would be fantastic. Now I'm trying my hardest here not to turn this, because I can't see any timing marks on these gears as to how you time this damn thing up. Because I don't know how you time this up. I really don't. Oh, that condenser is connected. I thought for a minute the condenser wasn't connected, but it is. Yeah, that don't turn very easy, so I'm not going to knock it. The one that does turn is that one in there. Right. Is there a timing mark? I would have thought there would have been a timing mark somehow to time this onto this. And these teeth look very worn in here. Can you see that? There's some teeth in here and they look extremely worn. Right, we have a C on there. Right, I don't know how you go about timing this up. You've got to time it or it wouldn't be right, would it? It just wouldn't work. If you couldn't time it, it ain't going to spark in the right place. Very bizarre. Yeah, just oiling that cam up there a little bit. So when things spin, yeah, that don't turn at all. Right, that's turning now. How do you... Whoa, that's turned. Oh, well, that's turned now. Are them points opening and closing? Yes, they are. Right, we're going to have to time this now because I'll put it out of time. How do you time these mags? What we might be able to do is I might if this works, I should imagine what I can do is hold a screwdriver in the back of this coil to here and see if we get a spark. Oh, crikey, yes. Take my word for it, guys. Can I hold you in so you can see that? You can't hold the mag upright though, or the impulse. Oh, the impulse will work like this. You watch this bad boy. Alright. Don't want to nip that too hard. You focus. I'm going to put that screwdriver in there. You watch between that screwdriver. Where are we? You watch between that screwdriver and the body of that mag. Trust me, there is a spark. Oh, Christ. Can you see that? There it go, look. There it go. Alright. So we know you should have seen that spark went there. Absolutely brilliant. Alright, this is where all you Allis and Fairbanks enthusiasts are going to be like, yeah, that timing that right. You got to do this, you got to do that. Guys, I have never been in one of these before. Ever. So I don't know how you time these mags up. But we know this bit of the mag is good. So in theory, I don't quite know how it works. I was hoping there was going to be little bloody timing marks on here, like little dots or a mark, something, just to tell me how you line this tooth up with this. Because I really do not know. No, I really do not know how you time these up. I do like how there's a number 1 on that cap there. Look, there we go. Look, there's a number 1 here. Where are we? There we go. Tells you where number 1 plug is. Definitely Allis, because that's the top left. And that's typical Allis. So how, onions, do... We can't just plonk him back on because he ain't going to be timed, is it? That rotor arm has got to be in the right place for a spark. But where? How do you do this? It's not just a case of putting on, because we do have a C in there, which obviously means something. But I'm very unsure what. Maybe this mag wasn't timed in the first place, which is why we didn't have a spark. You just don't know, do you know what I mean? Because if this rotor arm is not timed, if this rotor arm isn't timed to this mag, I'm going to plonk him on and see if, or what, just see if this rotor arm turns, or are them teeth damaged. I could just look at it and say, oh yeah, that was there. Oh, it's direct drive, that's not. Oh yeah, that turns, look. That turns, guys. Oh, or do it. Right, I think. Alright. Alright, I think I found a problem, guys. That ain't turning. I've got this right home. I'm turning the bottom. It's not turning, guys. I'm slipping, look. Oh dear. Right. We have a problem. Yeah, it looks like this gear has worn away. That can't be lowered either, can it? Or can it? Oh, hang about. Oh, I think we weren't meshed. I think, no, that does actually push down, look. So, yeah, this does push down. Yeah, that does push down, so I think it's possible that that will push down and mesh in. Of course, the teeth are only worn on this edge. There you go. If you look, the teeth are only worn on this edge. They're not worn right up in here. So I think we just got to get that to mesh over. But before we start doing a load of meshing, we need to weigh up how you time the damn thing, because I don't know. I really do not know. I might have to look up myself how to time these. There's nothing on this little information sticker. I can't read anything. I can see a letter C. Oh, I think that might be. Yeah, there's like a, it like push in. So I think you actually put this on, turn it to where it needs to be, and then like push this down to engage the gear. Do you know what I mean? Really not sure. So we're going to turn somewhere here, aren't we? So that's gonna, I think all we've got to do is we're on an impulse. Hang on. Hang on. Can you see what I see? Can you see what I see? Look at the teeth. I know you guys are going to go, how obvious. I see that ages ago. Look at the teeth on this gear. And if you look, they're all squared off, apart from this one. See this tooth? That is like beveled on this edge, and there's a little red dot. I reckon this little red dot is some form of timing mark. See that? All these teeth here are like flat round the top. It's like the gear pushes in and meshes over this beveled one, which allow them to mesh. It allows easy mesh. So I think when your cap's going on this way, right, your cap got to sit on here. I think this needs to be, it's halfway through its impulse. So we'll come back. Right, our little red dot is facing here, dead on, look. This is pointing to that beveled gear, and I reckon this one here, where the C is, there's a little C on, where can you see, where are we? There's a little C on here, look, see that? I reckon that is where it joins onto. So if we have this, let me zoom out. we have our cap, it comes on like so, right? Our little gear, that little pivot gear is here, bang on, look. So I reckon it goes on like this. It comes on like that. So if we flip it over, this C needs to point straight forward, and I reckon now this will mesh with that. Do you get what I mean? Wrong way round. No, yep, wrong way round. We're 180 out. I'll put the C facing the little red dot. So this is facing dead this way. This is facing dead that way. Yep. I reckon now, get him down there. Give him a push. And hopefully, that ain't engaged. That tooth has not engaged, guys. Alright, let's try now. Is our C facing there? It is. Come on. Trying here not to break anything. Finicky bloody thing, isn't it? Absolutely finicky little thing. Right, I'm going to have a mess about, because I'm pretty sure I'm doing this right. Let me get down on my knees and come up from underneath. This is the most finicky thing I've ever seen. I think I need to have a play with this to see, because this gear should just drop down over this gear. I can see no reason why it won't. Why can't there be a little inspection hole through there so you can see? Nothing's turning, but I'm sure that should just drop in. I don't want to force nothing and break this tooth though. Maybe I didn't need that popped out like that. Oh, I see, that ain't turning it. Okay. Oh, our little red dot is here again. On that little bevel tooth. We're still here. But for some reason, this isn't meshing. No. Right. Bear with me while I have a fiddle, because this could take a bit of faffing to try and get that to line up. Alright guys, 10 minutes or so have elapsed, and with the aid of my torch and squatting down underneath and looking up, Oh, wait up, how you do this. You push a little shaft right the way up, and you can see that'll line up with the tooth. Once that's lined up, the distributor's flat, click, that clicks down a notch and goes in. So I'm happy, or I think I'm happy, that it's timed. But only time will tell, guys. We know the bottom half of this mag is good. Bright blue spark that was jumping 1/4 inch from the screwdriver down to the body. So I just want to get some screws in here and see if we have got any form of spark. Now, whether that little red dot correlates to this rotor arm is going to point to number 1, your guess is as good as mine. But I'm assuming the little red dot on that gear, combined with, what's going on here? Why isn't that one going in there right? Let me slacken all these. Yeah, I'm guessing that sort of one red dot and the little C on that nylon gear obviously means something. But what it means, I do not know. Why isn't this screw going in there? Anyhow. I just want to see if this is lining up. I'm guessing our rotor arm should point to number 1. Because we can only put that in some way. When we turn, there we go, we're turning the distributor. It was somewhere about there. So let's see if that correlates. It does. Right, okay. The rotor arm is correlating exactly. There's number 1, which is here. And that's going to correlate exactly where that is. Is this making contact? See, I don't know. I thought that bit on that coil should be spring loaded. So that depends if this long contact, what goes down the middle here, it depends if that's going to make contact or not. Right, I'm not turning that far. Because the next impulse we have... Right, when we turn this, we're on the next impulse. Do what? Nip on the plastic, guys. There we go. The next impulse we have should be number 1 cylinder. So that's, if my theory is correct, we should be on number 1. So we have a ferrule. There we go. We have a ferrule, guys. I'm putting that on there the wrong way, aren't I? That comes in there. Bend this lead over. So I think this lead should sort of come over the edge so it goes into that ferrule. Oh yeah, that's opening up. There we go. There we go, our leader's making contact, so we'll jam this in number 1. Have I got that on there the wrong way? Oh, I did, I had that on the wrong way, didn't I? Right, yeah, we've got a good connection there. Oh, in she goes, look, in she goes. Cap over. Right, let's see. Let's get my clips on. I'll put my clip somewhere to earth. Right, we can come round here, look. Clip that on that flange. We'll clip this back onto here. You guys are not going to be able to see this very well, are you? Because we're the wrong side of the damn camera. Right. Let's have a look. And we know when we're going to be, because the next one will be 4 revolutions out. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to bend this HT round on here. Alright, so we should see a spark jump from here to that croc clip. Oh, yes, you little ripper. Now, there shouldn't be any on the next one, nor the next one, because that was 2. This is 3, and we should be back on again. Oh, look at that. Can you see that? We have a working Magneto. 2, 3, 4. There. So that was 1. Then we should spark out of this one, then this one, then... Oops, you can't see, can you? We should now spark this one, and this one. I'm happy, guys. I'm not going to do that too many times, because like I say, a Magneto, you should always have a lead out of the ports, so the spark's allowed to go to earth. If not, you lose the spark inside your windings, and eventually it can damage them and burn them out. But I am happy now that we have a working Fairbanks mag for the Allis with a nice bright blue spark on impulse. I think I'm going to have half an hour. Oh, look how nice that font is there. And this side, all that old orange. I'm going to have half an hour picking that orange paint out simply because I'm sad. And there we go. That took far longer than it should have done with a pick tool and a sewing needle. But all that orange paint I can get is out of there. We have a working mag. If you're watching, buddy, thank you very much. She didn't have a spark. Now she has. So... I'll have to clean these earthen faces up because they are a bit minging. But that's something I can be doing off camera. This will all be cleaned around here where it earths to the engine of the tractor. So, I think in the next video, it'll either be the rusty Allis or the restored Allis. One out of the two, because we do need to do the water pump on the restored one. But there we go. That is it. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, please like and subscribe to the channel. It makes a massive difference to myself, and you'll be notified nicely. Just lets YouTube know, you know, help a guy out here, help a guy out. Right, thank you very much for watching, guys. There we go. So, if you're a total virgin to a Fairbanks Magneto for an Allis B, now you're not, because between us we've done it. I need to get some more of these crimps here, which I believe I've seen them on Tinternet, I've seen them on Evil Bay, so we can get ourselves a set of 4 crimps, make up some HT leads, get the oil back in that Allis, get the sump back on, and try and start the damn thing. So guys, that is it. Oh no. This here is my microphone. And I've just knocked it on the floor, and because it's magnetic, it's picked up iron filings. I do hope I can clean them off. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching, guys. Say, do that, like and subscribe. We will be back. More videos. Say, we have 2 Allises to do. Crossley, went to its first ever rally in its life at the weekend. It went to Wheating with the correct mag on there, correctly timed. The engine now starts surprisingly well, but we have a little problem. She runs for about an hour, then she starts to overheat and get tight. So we need to look into that. She starts to smoke a bit and you can feel load, and when you switch it off, it's tight. When it cools down, it's perfectly loose again. So I'm wondering if I need to check that I gap them piston rings right, because if they're expanding in that cylinder, because I didn't gap them quite right, that could cause it to go tight, and we do not want to end up damaging the cylinder. So behind you, in fact over there, the Crossley is back in the shed. We've just got to take the back cover off and the head off, take the piston out again, take the rings off the piston, put them in the cylinder and make sure they are gapped correctly. Maybe I didn't do a big enough gap in them and they're expanding and locking up. Do you know what I mean? Anyhow, that's it. Enough of my waffling. Bye bye for now. Aha!